Well, good to see you again. This time I'm going to speak really long because there's a lot of interesting subject I wanted to tell you. And I'll try to make it fun so you don't feel bored. So win in China, doing business with a change in China, that's my subject. Now, first of all, how to win in China. And second is China is not just the China before, but it's a change in China. Thanks for Marina for introducing me very elaborately at the beginning, so I will skip that. But I would like to play you a video to show the president-elect in America, his view about China.
Let's say China. 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 You go over to China. 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 You take China.
China.
China. I love them. China. 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 I have to have my China. China. China because China. 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 China now. China. China. You know, China.
I know China very well. China. 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 China.
China. China. China.
Northwest Wisconsin, where I'm from.
It's China to me. China. 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 You want to buy from China? That's great. Buy from China. Buy toys from China. China in particular. China. China. I have people that I know in China. 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 China, 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 China. I've been saying China, 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 China.
I think it's enough. It's enough. Thank you. Well, as you can see, having passion without content could come together. So here's the president-elect talk about China. And you can see that he doesn't really understand China. And this may be one of us here as well. We're laughing at him. But how much we know about China and how much we have this stereotype in our mind about China. And many times our attitude and our understanding decide on our success. So that's why it's very important here we try to learn about China a little bit more. So I don't have lots of time, let's go. So I'm going to talk about China's rise and its global implication. First, if this chart goes all the way back to 1820. In 1820, Chinese GDP are 1/3 of the global GDP, 33%. Undoubtedly, it's a leader of the global economy. And the second is Europe as a whole, about 27%, and then India, and then the America. So America now, after the First World War, Second World War, became the largest economy in the world. So they're the best beneficiary of the war. Now, the China started to decline until 1978. If you sit in my last session, you understood. Deng Xiaoping started to say, wait a minute, we're doing something wrong. Let's change it. And then China started to really take off by joining the World Trade Organization in 2002. And now China is really, really growing. And the Economist magazine predicted by 2024, China will be the largest economy in the world. Last session, I told you that in my lifetime, I will see that the China is not just going to be large, but also twice as big as the American economy. You can see from this curve predicted by Economist magazine, the red is China, and this curve is really very steep. So that shows that China is going to grow, continue to grow. So if you look at from the R&D spending point of view, the China is really spending money on the R&D level. They have surpassed Japan, and they are also surpassed America to be the largest spending in R&D. So that means China is really wanting to develop technologies. Now, if I may show these slides to you. Now, here it says this is Xiaomi's chairman and called Lei Jun. He's very influential in China. And he says something, it's time to copy China. Now, China started to have really great technology to start to develop. For instance, Huawei technology has more technologies in the mobile phone than Apple. So Apple licensed more technology from Huawei than the Huawei license from Apple. So you can see the patent application here. China already surpassed America in 2010 to be the largest patent filer. Now, many people would argue and challenge that China may be more of quantity versus quality, but with the mass quantity, China will come up with great technologies. So in terms of foreign currency reserve, you can see that China are the richest country in terms of foreign currency reserve. Now, we are basically the largest debtor of American economy, and we basically own the America. So if we look at the billionaires, China has more billionaires than any, except American, than any other countries. So we produce 250 billionaires in the world right now. Now, this is in terms of US dollar billionaire, not in Chinese yuan. And our school actually produces a lot of billionaires. We're a school known to produce billionaires. And whether the billionaires who come to our school to study or they didn't make it, they come to our school study and then became billionaires. So we have many of those. So you have a fair chance if you join our school. And if you don't want to be a billionaire, so find some other school, please. Now, the Chinese economy is showing a sign of slowing down. Now, this slowing down, if you look at the comparison between year 2015 to 2005, in year 2005, Chinese economy is growing at 12%, but in 2015, it's 6.9%. But yet, with 6.9%, we produce $790 billion worth of the GDP. Incremental growth. So this is enormous. This is enormous. So that shows the growth is still there. And absolute value of growth in China is stunning. And you don't see that anywhere in the world. So RMB internationalization, I talked about the last session. And One Belt, One Road is a national strategy. And also China is very much into the Made in China 2025. And I was leading a group in Germany last July, and we visited KUKA robotic company, and during the time of my visit, and the Chinese company acquired this company, KUKA robotic company. And why? Because it is also a Chinese national strategy to change from made in China, which carry a very bad name, by the way. Our product is in Tesco, is in Carrefour, is in Walmart. All the Western consumer buy made in China product. I have a difficult time to go back to China because every gift I bring made in China. And also, I live my children are studying in France. So when they go to school, the kids laugh at them to say, hey, you're from China. Made in China is cheap. So I always tell them that, fight with them and tell them that the Chinese come to Europe to buy luxurious product. And in Europe want Chinese to produce cheap product to ship to them because they don't have money. Now, Made in China 2025 is really became a national strategy, moving from Made in China into an intelligent production. And the production in the manufacturing plant that have internet hooked up to have the Internet of Things, and it's connected to the consumer, and to have the manufacturing facility in the city, not just in the suburb. So you can see China is rapidly growing with the consumer. I use one criteria here. The mobile internet user in China last year reached 680 million, mobile internet users. Not just we have a lot of users using mobile phone, but we also use it very frequently. My phone is iPhone 7 Plus, and I have a difficult time to buy it in France because no French use it. They use a smaller phone. Russian is still using the sort of phone with buttons. And China use large screen phones, and the business executive, you should have 2 or 3 of them. Now, we don't use computer anymore because computer you have to power on. It's really inefficient. We don't have time to deal with email because email is the worst enemy. Every time you write an email, it's too formal. You cannot communicate so freely. So Chinese consumers are using mobile phone. On average, 3.9 hours per day on average are spent on this smartphone. Now, of course, there's some sort of health problem here, but what I'm trying not to address today is health. What I'm trying to address is there's enormous economic, value from people using the mobile phone and how fast it is. So internet became our national strategy. So we have moved from the first stage of simply using it for music download and to the e-commerce in the middle, and now to integrate in every part of our life, including service in banking sectors and everything. We turn individual to the ATM machine. On the street, once I had a haircut, and then I didn't even carry the cash. And the guy says that, well, I got to receive cash. I can't take credit card for, a little money. And I said, what do I do? He said, do you have WeChat? I said, yes, I do. So I use WeChat to make a payment for the haircut. And I use WeChat to pay everything. Yeah? Pay phone bills and make investment. And my mobile phone became very valuable because all my investment is there. Yeah, so please don't steal from me. Now, we also have the 10 goals of 13th five-year plan. This is very important for you to understand. For as any business executive, you should really read this plan to identify the opportunities within your industry and how those will influence you. I was speaking in Beijing to the European Union delegation in the circular economy and about the green technology. My subject was China from red to green. And there I helped them to identify in which areas that you could penetrate in Chinese market. And they find so many opportunities in China. And so here I mentioned a few: Made in China 2025, green economy, mass innovation and entrepreneurship, and consumption upgrading. So those are the large areas that you could consider going forward. Now, China and the EU trade is enormous. I'm going to skip some of those. And China is turning from the world manufacturer to become a world consumption market. And our labor costs in China are growing very fast. So usually the Chinese employee receive a double-digit increase every year, about 10% salary increase. Now, you don't see this here, right? So that's why we have difficulty to keep up with some of the low-cost manufacturing areas, such as Vietnam. So China is changing. They want to upgrade. They want to produce a more quality stuff with high technology and also satisfy the higher demand from the consumers. Alibaba being the largest festival, online shopping festival, in one single day last year, November 11th, because Chinese like to have sales. That's the one thing you go to China, you need to understand. Chinese like craziness. They like all kind of mass. They don't like everything to be the set. So when they did the first year, when Alibaba did the online sales, November 11th, and the first year, the server crashed because you have so many people place the order at the same time. And it starts at midnight, so people sleep, during the daytime, and they wake up at the midnight to place the order. When everybody's placing order at the same time, guess what? The server crashed. And second year, they solved the server issue, but then they had the problem of delivering because there's so many, products to be delivered. So they had an issue with that. And then third year, they solved the problem. So last year, they achieved $17.8 billion US in one single day. Now, if this company keeps doing this kind of things, after a few weeks, it's going to create a UK economy. So it's a dangerous company. Now, so be careful when they come to you. So I want to share with you something, a secret that most people didn't detect, and I want to share with you today. And if you understand this, you will do business with China well. That is, being big is a national strategy of China. That's why the Chinese government never underestimate when any country try to challenge their territorial integrity. If your Foreign Minister Boris Johnson asked me, for advice, that's the first thing I would advise him. Never challenge the issues with Taiwan, with Tibet, because this is a hot button. China will never agree, and they will fight a war with you for that. So, but if you understand this being big is a national strategy, they wanted to maintain the integrity of the country. So we will never vote for Brexit. We will never vote for Scotland to be independent, because this is a national strategy. We have had this strategy for many years, about 5,000 years. So not very short, and it's quite successful. So let's talk why Western company go to China, they sometimes fail, right? So first, I want to share with you some of the differences here. The Chinese express their opinion quite differently from the Western country. Here you can see, the Western are more direct. You tell you immediately, I don't like you, I hate Brexit. You can say it without being in jail. Now here, in Chinese way, they do this. They don't say it directly. Yeah, I think Brexit, would work. It's a great idea, Yeah, great. If you ask me be careful on something. They started to be talking this way. This is the Chinese way. Now it's both bad and good because you don't hurt anyone, right? When the West to say, I don't like Brexit, and then you become an enemy, of the people vote for Brexit. The country are divided. But with the Chinese way, nobody is hurt. Everybody is in harmony. And I'll explain to you why this. In terms of human relationship, we tend to be network with everybody. So when I come here, I put about 100 business card. I'm prepared to give to everybody. So I have equality. I don't look at you like, oh, you look young, so I'm not going to give you. No, I'm equal. Now, Chinese like to network with everybody, but the Western culture tend to be network with a few people and selected a few people. And Chinese tend to be more in groups. We like to be together. And then the Western approach is more individual-based. And the Chinese tend to like, in the party situation, to be together, to have a leader to organize activities. And even in our case, in our school, we organize a vacation for employees. And you will never understand. Can you imagine that you go on vacation with your colleagues? You have been with them for such a long time, and you have to go with them for vacation. So you will never accept that, but in China, yes, we do. So we like to be together. We like people. And we never get lonely for that reasons. So in a restaurant, the Chinese is very noisy. You have experience. So many restaurants doesn't accept Chinese tourists. Because if they do, they will not have business for the British people. And in the British, they tend to be like this. Now, in terms of fashion, Chinese all like to be white, to be whiter. Always is better. But in the West, tend to be darker is more healthier, more natural. Now, I married a woman from Chengdu. If you know Chengdu, they have cloud. So because of that, the girls there are naturally white. So when I presented my future wife to my mother, and she looked at her, says that, wow, she's so white. If a woman is white, even though she's not pretty, is more beautiful. So I got approval from my mother immediately. By the way, my wife is also very beautiful. You can't tell because she's not here, so I can say whatever I like. In terms of handling problem, in the Western approach, you tend to be very direct into the problem. The Chinese tend to like to kick the soccer ball and go around the problem, right? So now, in terms of leader, this is what the Western leader would love to hear, because the Chinese leaders are considered to be in a high ranking. They are very well respected with certain hierarchy. When they go to a conference, they need to be in a suites, yeah? So, but in the Western way, the leader doesn't mean anything. You can call Donald Trump anything you like. And you can even have a statue of a naked Donald Trump on the street. But in China, it's strictly prohibited. And that's very important when you do business with China. You have to respect those leaders. And when you go into the room, identify who is the leader. Give the business card first to the leader. Don't always talk to someone who may be more interesting, more pretty, but talk to the leader first and make sure the leader is not left out. Now, if I can summarize the differences between these two cultures, the Europeans are more individual-based and Chinese more collectivist. And the Europeans are more equal and Chinese more hierarchy. And the Europeans are more information-oriented, Chinese are more relationship-oriented, and the Europeans are more reductionist, and Chinese are more holistic view. And also, Chinese like big pictures. So I once did a test in European Commission, and I was speaking there. And I asked their photographer to take a picture of me, and the photographer only take a picture of my face. And I said, what's the use of it? I don't need to see myself, because I'm already tired of seeing myself every day. And then I want you to take pictures including other people so people know what I'm doing. So that's the Chinese way of doing things. We are very holistic. And Western sequential, Chinese more circular, etc. You can read from that. Now, all this comes to the Chinese traditional culture, which have governed China for more than 2,000 years, which is Confucianism, Taoism, and war stratagem. Now, Confucianism very much emphasizes on the moral cultivation. So we are a culture with morals. We're not a society with just a law. If you go to America and you go to UK, now there's a lot of law, right? So that's why we need to have a lawyer. We have lots of lawyers here too. You know, with all the respect to the lawyers, so that I would prefer there's no lawyer and have more, everybody is a nice guy, right? But unfortunately, we need a lawyer. Now, but the China emphasizes on the moral side. We, as the children, are trained to have more moral values since we were child, how to be polite, how to behave ourselves. And also, we very much emphasize on interpersonal relationships. This you can see, the guanxi is very important. This interpersonal relationship have many facets, which I don't have time to talk about it. And the family orientation. The Chinese are very big into the family. All this is helping us to understand one thing, that is relationship is more important than the contract. You know, sometimes when you sign the contract with Chinese, after a while they come back to you to renegotiate the price. And you're like, we have a contract, why you're coming back? Well, okay, you can sue them. And then you find out that the judge is their childhood friend. So you're stuck, right? So this is the society that we're facing, Confucianism. And many people think that China is a communist country. I tell you, China is more capitalism than communism. And China is more capitalism than most of the European countries. It's just government that doesn't want to say that. But what governs China is not the communism. It is the Confucianism. And Taoism also emphasizes the creativity of life, of the harmony. Our high-speed train is called harmony in China. If you go to China, you know that. And Chinese very much emphasize on the balance. We're very good at the balancing things, right? That's a harmony. We create harmony. But being in a harmonious situation also means it's very difficult for us to have disruptive technologies. That's your advantages, right? You go to extreme. Chinese like to be balanced. Right? So that's the situation. Now then you have the war strategism. And you can see that most of the Chinese, they have lots of tactics. When you deal with everything, they are very tactful. Yeah? You negotiate with the Chinese, how many of you have failed? Because they are very good at this thing. They have lots of strategies. They have 36 strategies to deal with you. They have been trained in their blood, in their culture. They practice every day, right? I was once in a restaurant negotiating a fish price. And it's a Western restaurant, and they laughed at me, and they said, what's wrong with you? I said, well, there's nothing wrong with me, and well, just let's have some fun. Let's negotiate the fish price. Be open-minded. So I made him feel guilty, and at the end, he lowered the price by 20%. Yeah? So there are many strategies. So business is like a wall. Now, let me come back to the key essence of this. Why company fail in China? Let's look at those companies. Best Buy went to China. You know, it's the largest personal electronics store in America, the left. And Tesco was not very successful in China. Google left China. Walmart is doing poorly in China. You know, you have all those companies. Yahoo basically shut down in China. So why they fail in China? Yet we also see some companies succeeded in China. For instance, KFC. You know, I tell you a personal story. When I was dating my wife, and I don't have lots of money, so I usually date her on the railway truck because it's free. But then I have to close the deal, you know. So I brought her to a date, saved enough money to go to KFC on the Bund in Shanghai. Now, if today I bring anyone to a date to a KFC, I think she's going to slip on my face and then say goodbye. But I brought my girlfriend at that time, now my wife, to the KFC on the Bund. I closed the deal. Now I have 2 beautiful kids. So I thanks to KFC. And they're doing fantastic well in China. You can see that the reason I bring her to KFC is because KFC at the time is very trendy. It's considered a very trendy restaurant. That's how they changed. Many companies, hotels went to China. It was 3-star hotel. Howard Johnson in America went to China, became 5-star hotel. That gives you some hints if you're smart. Now, IKEA is there, Lohia is there. They do in the 2 different categories there as well. LinkedIn is there. This is a service company, internet company. They're there. They're doing very well. Ernst Young service companies, they're doing very well there. Yeah. Here we have Starbucks. Look at Starbucks. Chinese is not a nation of drinking coffee, right? We're a nation of drinking tea. How could you sell a coffee to a country that doesn't drink coffee? Yeah. They succeeded big time. And not just that. They have, recent survey has shown that in China, people drink coffee, in average, make more salary than people drink tea in China. So don't feel so happy because you drink coffee here. So if we do a survey here that people drink tea versus coffee, maybe people drink tea here in UK make more money than people drink coffee. Now, you look at the Carrefour, it's in the same category of Walmart, Tesco. Walmart, Tesco's failed in China, but Carrefour succeeded in China. Why? So it's not about, my industry didn't work in China. It's about how you do it in China. So let's look at it. Why and how company could succeed in China. In business school, we always talk about success stories. Harvard Business School really damages the whole thing, because they create Harvard Business Case, always talk about success stories. And we decided that we got to teach people about failures. I was speaking in the Level 39 the other day. The founder of Level 39 said something, I would never invest in a company that they never failed. Because if I invest in them, I will pay them their tuition. Because they're going to likely to fail when I invest in them. So I'd rather someone already failed. So don't worry about the failure. We need to learn from that. So let's see why company fail in China. The first is they fail to localize. Now, localization is very important. Many American companies particularly are very ego. When they go to China, we are successful in America. I'm not going to change anything. I do whatever I do. So Walmart is the world's largest retailer. Walmart's philosophy is every day is low price. So when every day is low price, they go to China, and the Chinese wanted to find deals. They want to have promotion. They want to see discount. You go to the Chinese, stores, they see 20% discount, 30% discount every day. So Walmart, every day low price. You go to the store, you feel you are walking in the dead store. There's nothing interesting. By the way, the Chinese consumer, they go to the store shopping sometimes not because they want to do shopping, because it's a way of getting out. Most Chinese doesn't live in a very comfortable apartment. Particularly in the summer, winter time, they don't want to burn the electricity of the air conditioning. So they choose to get out to have air conditioning. So they go to the store, and then they find there's a deal, so they buy. That's why. Not because they have a shopping list like American British would have, accumulate until the weekend and go to do the shopping. So Walmart failed to understand that. And also failed to compete with the local brand. Many international companies feel so competent. I'm very good, very big. Globally, I'm successful. So I'm going to China. I'm going to win. I'm going to knock them off. I'm going to win. That's their attitude. But don't underestimate the Chinese local competition. I'll give you an example of eBay. eBay went to China. They were widely successful in America and in Europe. They went to China, they did the same thing. But they failed to understand, the local competitor understand the consumer more and better. And Alibaba's Taobao come to the play. I was listening to the Jack Ma's interview yesterday. And one of the things he said that when we started to compete with the eBay, and we addressed one of the issues the eBay didn't address. Because the Chinese doesn't have credit card. So you wanted to use a credit card. No, we don't believe this. And there's a problem. Because the consumer who buy this stuff from the seller say that you ship first. And the seller say you pay first. So we have a problem. One want to be paid first. One want to be shipped first. So then the Taobao says, let's have a Alipay. How about you guys, you pay to me. I hold the money for you, and then you ship. Once I receive money, you ship. Once you receive the product, you tell me, I give you the money. How nice this job is. To be a middleman of collecting money, everybody trusts you. That's what Alibaba did. They were widely successful. They were able to use the money they have to give the loan to the seller because seller need to produce. So you need the money, you need the loan. Okay, I borrow the money to you. Where did the money come from? From the buyer. And I charge you a lot of interest because I can borrow you money for merely 2 hours. They can do a 2-hour loan in internet based on the big data because I know you're going to return me the money. They charge you lots of money for the interest. You see how smart it is. So by being local, you don't need to be local, but you need to really understand the consumer. Okay, so don't think that you need to be Chinese in order to do this. Okay, the other company did that. So I'm going to skip some of those. And also picking the wrong partner. Many people, when they choose a partner, they think the bigger is better. They always come to me to ask, oh, I want to partner with Baidu, with Alibaba, with Tencent. I said, be careful, because these are the big players, and maybe they're your competitor. They could consume you. They could kill you, right? So you got to be careful in selecting them. So Groupon went to China. They find a partner as Tencent. Tencent is a very large internet company. They have WeChat. They have everything. So naturally, it feels good. But not alone, they realize that they don't take them seriously. Because Tencent is so big, I have so many business. I got to look at which business bring me the most value. So Groupon, who are you? So they didn't take them seriously. So then they didn't work out in China. So in selecting partner, the important thing is not about being big. It's about whether you guys offer complementary skills. Okay, whether you have complementary strengths. If what you want, they have, but then what they have, you don't want. You don't have. That's very important to have this match. So matching is very important in the partner selection process. And also not play nicely with government. Whether our government is good or bad, the Chinese government never wanted to be challenged. If you want to fight a war against the government, you're going to be a loser. You're going to be a total loser. You have to understand, Chinese government is the largest company in the world. They have more money than any other people, organization. Yeah? We have a very high income tax. We have very high corporate tax. The government holds lots of money there, right? That's why they are able to save the financial crisis from, coming to China. They helped the American, they saved China because they have lots of money. They're rich. They're able to change things. If you don't have money, whatever you say doesn't matter. That's what many European country government doesn't have power. You go to Portugal, you go to Greece, government has lots of propaganda, but they don't have money, so what can you do? Right? You have great ideas, but then you don't have money. That's a problem. So Chinese government have money. So you got to be careful when you challenge the government. Maybe you got used to challenge the government here, but not in China. So Google did. Google and their server was hacked, and once, not seriously hacked. And so they were pissed off. They decided to move out of China and go to Hong Kong. Now, guess what? Baidu is very happy. The local competitor is very happy. The consumer is not happy. I'm a consumer. I'm not happy. Because without Google, China is not a better China, certainly. And Google, if Google would ever come back to China, now it's going to be difficult. Now you're going to negotiate. At the time, Chinese government denied they hacked into their server. So they could build a case that Chinese government would find it more difficult to hack into it again. Now they go to China, the government would say that we're going to send people to your company to monitor what you do, right? So Google is going to be difficult to come back and to lose their face to come back to do that. So GSK, very well-known British company, and they also were heavily fined for close to $500 million US for bribing to the doctor. This is one of the things many people ask me. Chinese company bribing to the doctors as well. So we're being penalized. It's not fair. I said, well, it's of course not fair. When the Chinese company go to compete with Americans, they are also not treated fairly. They go to UK, they're not treated fairly as well. So there's no fairness. And what is important is that you come up with technology, the product that the market really wants. So don't spend your time to try to cut the corner, but spend time to really make your product great. And so that the market really wants it. That's what you need to really consider. And you will make much more money that way than try to use other sort of not gracious approach. Now, Albert also got fined, so it's very important to do that. Now, KFC is a very important case because they're really widely successful. They know how to build a relationship with government, and they also did very well with the local, franchise partners. They built a partnership, JVs, etc. So I don't have time to go through all this. And they also localized their menu. Imagine, they localized the menu to make sure that the consumer in China is happy. So they put some of the Chinese dishes there that is close to what they have, and they integrated into their Western menu. That was widely successful. And they fit very well into that, and fit in the local culture as well. So it's really great, story for that. And not long ago, one of our alumni, if you know, his name is Jack Ma from Alibaba. And once during the lunchtime, and it's raining, he said that, get some lunch for me because I can. There, what do you want? And a Kentucky Fried Chicken. And then the people went and bought Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then he said, where is it? He said, we bought the company. and he said, what? That's a joke, but I'll tell you, our proud student, Jack Ma, and when he attended our school, he was not that famous. And his company needed money. So it's the classmate from CKJSP helped him, including the chairman of the Fushan Investment Group. And Jack Ma, when he interviewed for when he was in his young age, interviewed with Kentucky Fried Chicken to try to find a job as someone to hold the plate. And 25 people went for interview, 24 was accepted except him. Because people say that you don't look very good. You're very short and you look ugly. So they rejected him. So now Jack Ma finally had the time to do a revenge of buying the company. If I can find a job with your company, I'll just buy it. So how powerful that message is. Now, relationship with the government is really important. And so I just talk about that. So I would encourage you, because of the time limitation, to take up your cards, and I will leave this to you. China is a great opportunity for UK. And I encourage you to go to China, expand your business to China, and I leave this to you. Reward success, celebrate failure, punish inaction. You will not be punished by me, but you will be punished by Chinese consumer for not going there to serve them, not to capture that lucrative market. So if you need any help, we are here from Cheung Kong Graduate School of Business, the leading business school in China. Thank you very much.
Jibo, thank you very much, Jibo, for that very energetic education in the cultural and corporate pitfalls of doing business in China. And I'm just sorry that President-elect Trump wasn't able to make it to this session.